Imagine your city suddenly losing power and then snapping back in seconds because of a machine you've never seen, owned by a company you've never heard of.
So there's a ghost company preventing blackouts?
Yes. While China grabs headlines for long-duration storage megaprojects, one quiet player has already deployed and contracted over 20 gigawatt-hours of lithium-ion grid batteries worldwide, and its backlog keeps climbing.
20 gigawatt hours? That's like millions of homes for hours, right?
Exactly. And the company doing this is called Fluence. Not Tesla, not a Chinese giant, but a specialist born from AES and Siemens to focus purely on grid-scale storage.
So after Linus and Form Energy, this is like the third boss in the battery arms race.
That's the idea. Tonight, we're opening the global map of Fluence, from California to Germany, Chile, India, and Australia, to see how one invisible company is quietly wiring the world's grid. If you want more of these hidden infrastructure stories, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series.
Here's the problem. We finally built huge amounts of wind and solar, but the grid was designed for coal and gas.
So that's why countries still fire up gas plants on hot evenings, even with lots of renewables.
Exactly. When clouds roll in or the wind drops, grid operators panic. Without storage, their only tools are expensive, dirty gas peaker plants sitting idle most of the time.
Battery energy storage systems, BESS, change that. They soak up surplus solar at lunchtime, then push it back out at dinner. They stabilize frequency, smooth spikes, and let countries add more renewables without crashing the grid.
But lots of companies make batteries. What makes Fluence different?
Fluence skipped cars and home batteries and went straight for the most boring, powerful layer of all: big utility-scale systems and the software that runs them. Let's start in the US. In Long Beach, California, Fluence is supplying a 100 megawatt/400 megawatt-hour battery for Southern California Edison, one of the largest lithium-ion grid projects when it was announced. It quietly steps in when demand spikes in the Los Angeles area, helping replace gas peaker plants and cutting the risk of rolling blackouts.
So one battery farm can do the job of a backup power station?
Now jump to Germany. At Janschwalde, on the site of a former coal plant, Fluence and Utility League are building a 1 gigawatt/4 gigawatt-hour battery, Europe's largest BESS project so far. It will act like a massive shock absorber, storing excess wind and solar, then delivering power in milliseconds to keep the German grid stable as coal units shut down.
That's basically a nuclear reactor-sized safety buffer, but made of batteries.
In Chile's Atacama Desert, AES Andes and Fluence have installed what has been the largest battery system in Latin America. Around 112 megawatts of batteries paired with 180 megawatts of solar, giving 5 hours of storage. Instead of wasting midday solar when transmission lines are full, the battery holds it and feeds it back later, letting Chile push more renewables through the same grid.
So you upgrade the brain of the grid instead of just pouring more concrete?
Then there's India. Fluence delivered India's first grid-scale battery system in Delhi, a 10 megawatt/10 megawatt-hour project to test peak shaving and frequency control in one of the world's most stressed grids. On top of that, Fluence and Renew have created a 50-50 joint venture to serve a market that India's planners expect to reach about 27 gigawatts/108 gigawatt-hours of storage by 2030, starting with a 150 megawatt-hour project in Karnataka.
So India is trying to leapfrog straight to a grid that assumes storage is normal, not an experiment.
Exactly. And Australia is doing its own version. At Mortlake Power Station in Victoria, Origin Energy has picked Fluence to deliver a 300 megawatt / 650 megawatt hour battery scheduled to come online around 2026. It will soak up cheap wind and solar and then provide fast response, supporting reliability as old coal capacity retires.
So when you zoom out, Fluence shows up in California, Germany, Chile, India, Australia, plus offices and projects across Asia Pacific and Europe. That's not a pilot, that's a backbone.
That's the point. This is the hidden battery backbone that lets countries keep up with China's renewables build-out without leaning entirely on gas peakers and diesel generators.
Okay, this is huge, but what can someone watching actually do with any of this?
3 simple moves. First, when you see a new renewable project announced, look for the storage line. If a giant solar farm has no battery attached, it's not as serious as it sounds. Second, support policies and utilities that prioritize storage over new fossil peakers. Every big BESS that comes online makes it easier to retire gas plants and keep the lights on at the same time. Third, stay curious about the boring names behind the scenes, not just Fluence, but all the grid-scale storage integrators. They're the ones deciding whether our climate targets work in reality, not just on paper.
So if Linus is the mining frontline and Form Energy is the long-duration experiment, Fluence is the current scoreboard for who can actually run a clean grid today.
Exactly. If you want to keep following this battery arms race, from rare earth mines to long-duration iron air to hidden BESS networks like this, make sure you're subscribed to the Green Blueprint.
Tell us in the comments which project surprised you most. The 1 gigawatt German battery, the Chile desert system, or India's push to 100 plus gigawatt hours by 2030.
This is the Green Blueprint. Thanks for watching. Stay green, stay healthy, stay informed.